I made mine on the spring event of the New Year party. So it's 2021 SIC New Year party. And then I also put in parentheses NU for Eric. I started off by just giving some event details, just kind of saying like what everything is, like about the event. So this event is very important. It's really early in that second semester, so it's a crucial tone setter for the rest of the year and the events to follow. It's also a great way for people to interact with each other, to get to know the incoming transfer students or the freshmen who just didn't get in first semester. It's a really good way. I think this year is kind of a great thing because my hair is crazy. It's a great thing because the people who came from CCU were able to really connect with our OCU students that night. I was not allowed to attend the event because I had my hub shift during that time slot. So my friends did go and they did love it. The thing that I would do differently about that event is that I would try to do an actual dance party. Eric, I know that you're rolling around wherever you are right now, just thinking about this idea. So I would make sure it's OCU appropriate dancing only. I would do where we would have literally a security guard there with a bunch of staff. By a bunch of staff, I mean like 2 or 3 people. Could be you or Jackie and whoever. And then we would have like 4 or 5 other SIC members, including myself, that we could work on this together, keep an eye on everyone and everything going on during that event. And then what I would do is I would do OCU appropriate music only. I would look through all the lyrics for the songs before that night comes, just so we can have some preparation in that. I could do some Christian music with a little remix, so we're not just doing hymns. You can't really dance to a hymn. That would be kind of goofy. But just a couple of things that you would kind of see throughout the night at the event would be that we would have a disco ball over top of the event. And if we did it in the hub, it would be pretty easy to set up. You just put it right in the middle of the hub. If we did it at the Maxwell Center, it would be a little more difficult, but we could always set it up just by using a ladder and putting it up on the light fixture above. Or we could always just put it on one of the big pillars and we could just climb up there and hook it on somehow. The thing about the event and like the dancing and the music, I would be the master of ceremonies if I was leading that event. If I wasn't leading the event, then someone else could. What it would be me basically being like a DJ type person. It would be like you could request songs for me as long as they are OCU appropriate. I would be doing giveaways throughout the night. I would be hosting the thing I put in later was a cornhole tournament, and then also I put in a dance contest. That would be something that we would have to be careful with, just because it's kind of crazy how we could set that up. But I just thought it would be a neat idea to think about having a dance contest at the dance party. It's in a lot of dances that people have that are still appropriate. So it'd be really easy. We would have a bunch of food and drinks. We would have dessert, chips, and stuff like that. And we could hold the event in either the hub or in the gym or in the Maxwell lobby. The hub would be probably the smallest but easiest to contain. The gym, we would have to figure out which gym. It would probably be the Aux gym, most likely, because the basketball team gets grumpy if their gym's being used. So it would be it would probably be in the Aux gym, but we would just figure that out. And then if it was in the Maxwell lobby, we would just have to worry about cleanup. So some of the preparation that we would do would be that this event needs to be very, very explained in detail. It needs to be expressed carefully, just because we don't want people thinking that it's an actual party that they're not allowed to do any of that kind of stuff. We would want to respect the rules of OCU as well as the guidelines for the churches that we represent. The 3CU church that we are a part of needs to be represented. We need to respect that they have their ideas and beliefs and that we should honor them too. We need to market it as a dance party, but make sure that people understand there is rules. If we don't don't market it as a dance party, it could be very misleading for some people. They would come in pajamas. We could honestly do that anyway. A pajama party, a dance party, that would be a lot of fun. People wouldn't feel pressured to do anything. It would be chill. It wouldn't be inappropriate because of the pajamas. We would have more of like a chill vibe to it. And then another like big thing that I would do would be the food. I've worked a deal with the Zanzi's a couple times with intramurals that they would always donate however many pizzas that we buy. So basically it's a buy one get one free. And then also I was thinking that we could do B-dubs. The thing with B-dubs is that they do the BOGO deals on Thursdays and Tuesdays. What I was thinking about doing, which would be very risky, we would have to test this out, and I did put that in my details for the presentation. I put that we could purchase the wings on Thursday. Okay, I know this sounds weird, but just hear me out for a second. Purchase the wings on Thursday. We would get the buy one get one free, so we would buy at least 3, maybe 4 large wings, and we would get 3 or 4 back as well. Whatever size we need to. I mean, if we wanted to do large, which we would get the most wings out, but you also have to factor in the prices. And then Friday for the event, which I would hope that would be on a Friday. I don't think a Saturday event would be good, especially to start off, just because people leave for the weekends, and I know they'll probably leave then, even though it's like the first or second weekend of the year. We would put them in a hot box, which is a heated thing where it's kind of like it's still kind of cooking them, but it's not cooking them. It's just keeping them nice and fresh. We would have to be very careful with it because we don't want them to get nasty and old and stuff like that. So that's why I said that we could test this event, or this idea of the wings. We can just do them with snack sizes just so we don't have to burn money. Snack sizes are like $8. And then with like if they can't do that, then I figured we could just, or if the Thursday night thing doesn't work, we could just ask for a partnership with them. We would call it the New Year party sponsored by B-Dubs, and then we could always add in Zanzi's just because they provided the pizza too. So my grocery list here, I have a lot of chips and dip, a lot of drinks, cookies, brownies, ice cream, and then I have the Zanzi's pizza, which is the BOGO with the OCU deal, and then I have the B-Dubs deal, BOGO wings, and then possibly buy 3 or 4, maybe 5, and then get the 3 or 4 or 5 back. We would do multiple sauces. We would have one of each of like the basic, most popular sauces. We would probably have to do 2 of the barbecue just because people like barbecue more. And then we would have to buy lights. The lights would be a lot of fun. It would be a really cool thing for them to see, and it kind of adds that fun interactive vibe to it. And then I put in a cheap disco ball. So then I have the cost here. The cost would be around $10 for the chips and drink each. So chips and dip would be 10, and then the drinks would be 10 or more depending on how much we decide to get. And then that could also adjust throughout the whole night. Cookies would be about $5, brownies would be about $5, ice cream about $5 or $10, just depending on how much we get. We could also get like the big buckets of ice cream. By big, I mean not that big, but a gallon tub of it. We get 2 or 3 of them. Probably 2 vanillas and a chocolate, or 2 chocolates and a vanilla, just whatever comes to mind. And then we would do Zanzi's pizza, which would be about $20, which is 4 pizzas, and then we would get another 4 pizzas as well. And then we would also do the B-Dubs deal, I put about $50 just because of how many larges we would be getting. It would be about $20 per large. So I put 50 just depending on how many we buy. We also don't always have to buy larges. We can buy 2 larges and a medium or something like that. So that would be 50 to $70 just depending on how much they can offer us. And then I put $20 in for the lights just because I'm not really sure about how much that would cost. Just because lights, depending on how nice we want them, they could be $20 to $30 to $40. And then we could always just go to Walmart. They have those little packs of LED lights. We could just buy 10 of those packs of LED lights and just run them everywhere and just have a big LED party. And then I put in the cheap disco ball, which would be $20 to $50. So that totals about $175 to $200, just depending on how much. And then if we could stretch that even more to like $250, we would get more lights or nicer lights, either a nicer disco ball, and then more food. You always need more food or drinks, just depending on what we have and how many people. So for my help thing here, I put I would like to have at least 3 or 4 workers, but I could always use 5 or 6, just depending on how many people again, and the actual like final idea of the project. Just so we can keep an eye on everyone and everything. Like I said, we do have guidelines to follow, so I would want to make sure that people are following our rules and at the same time still having fun. We don't want to ruin their fun just because it is the beginning and we do have to set that tone for the rest of the year. And I think that it would be an awesome idea for them to participate in this if they're new to the school. We do also have to make sure that they follow our rules. Being new, they might not be used to the strictness of our school, and I'm respecting the strictness just because I appreciate it and it helps keep us out of trouble. So I would need help setting up the event. I said we could put in a bunch of games. I put in a cornhole tournament. That would be a lot of fun. We could always do a photo booth. Photo booths are really cool. People love photo booths. It's really cool way to capture the moment for people, especially seniors who are going out that semester. They're going to want to remember their best party that they've ever had. And then I put in, we would have the gym open with some games in there at like 9 square. We would want to have a chill area just so people can rest if they're getting headaches from the music or stuff like that. We just want to be aware of all the events that are occurring. Also, we want to make sure that there are no outside food or drinks brought in just because we don't know what people are trying to bring into the event. In the past, the New Year party has been extravagant. There's been people trying to bring stuff in, and we want to make sure that that's gone. We don't want to bring that atmosphere into OCU. With those new people coming in, we don't know what they're like. And then we also want to make sure that they are still following the rules. And then staff would be needed, at least 1 or 2 staff members, maybe 3, and then at least 1 security guard. That would probably be the best. And then I put events within the event. So I would want to have a bunch of giveaways. We could do the Chick-fil-A cards. And then we could also do SIC hoodies. We could do anything to do with the Blaze. Courtney and the ladies who work in there would always be willing to help us. We could always do something with the bookstore, free stuff. Cornhole tournament. That would be a lot of fun. And then obviously countdown to midnight, gotta have that. And then I would have to ask permission for the Res Life to get them to stay past midnight, just because I think that doing a countdown to midnight at 10 o'clock won't be fun. And I put post-event duties just to wrap things up here in the next 15 seconds because I'm pushing it. Clean up, make sure that everyone leaves the Maxwell, get rid of any leftovers or take them back to the hub. Put everything back in the hub, take stuff out of the hub the next day, don't leave it in there, and then clock out and go to bed. See ya!